Hi, my name is Pip Coombs. I'm an author and this is my debut novel, The Hunted. I'm actually in the process of getting ready to publish book 2, so I thought what I would do is compile a series of videos that sort of take you through the process of getting cover art. So this is the cover for book number 1. So as you can see, we've got front, back and spine. So I have tried to maximize the usage of all areas, so particularly the spine. So I mean, the chances of my book ending up in a bookstore are limited, but if it does, I would like to maximize the chances that somebody is going to pick up the book, because let's face it, people judge books by their covers. So I wanted the spine to be interesting. So what you can see is I've got this flower pattern here. So in the story of the Phoenix series, they go to an island called Lanhyverleer, and it is a place where magic is plentiful and there are lots of interesting creatures that live there. And it's a land where there are 6 seasons. So I plan to have 6 books in the Phoenix series. So one of the ways in which I want the covers to actually link together is by having a seasonal link. So each book will have a different season represented on the spine, and that is part of the way that I plan to create essentially a brand for the Phoenix series. So if you're writing a series, then I really strongly recommend you take some time out to think about the cover art, because you want a cohesive look across all the books of the series, whether it just be in the general design or the color scheme, or like, for example, if you think about the Twilight series, like you don't have to like the Twilight series, but one of the things they did really well was the use of black and white and then having like a red apple. So it was a cover that stood out really well. Same with the Hunger Games. They had that really cool logo on it in the middle, and it was a way that they branded through the books. And you want the books to look like they're a series of books as opposed to a bunch of random books that someone could pick up book 3 and then go, oh, oops, I'm book 3 of a series. I thought this was a standalone book. So you want to think of ways to link the books. So for example, on this one, you can see that there is an eagle on the front cover. So an eagle is an extremely important part of the general plot point. So it's going to be a little bit hard to explain this without spoiling or without it sounding strange because you're doing it in brief, but the Ophelia, so essentially the high priestess of this island, she was taken to the Tree of Life and gifted enormous powers and treasures that are actually extremely valuable. One of them is the blood diamond. So the blood diamond, if it's held by its rightful owner, it doesn't have any negative effects on her. But if the blood diamond is taken and held by someone who is not its rightful owner, then what it does is you attach, obviously, some emotional value to it and you don't want to let it go. But what it does is it saps your energy and your power and your physical well-being from you slowly. But if you can get certain elements and bring them together, you can melt them with the diamond to create essentially an elixir, which then makes you really truly immortal. So one of the elements that you need to mix with the diamond to become truly immortal is the albino eagle's feather. And the albino eagle came back from the Tree of Life with the Ophelia. So it's the Ophelia's eagle. So that is why there is an eagle on the first book. And that is actually something that is talked about in the first book. And like I said, it's not going to make a lot of sense necessarily because I'm giving you the rapid fire version of it and I don't want to give away too much. But the next book, I am planning another animal to appear on the cover and to kind of come out of this inkiness like the eagle does on the first one. Obviously, the text I plan to keep the same, the logo I plan to keep the same, the publishing logo I plan to keep the same, and those sorts of things are things that link one book to the next, and they're things that you need to consider when you're doing your cover art. So I used Kerry Ellis, who I found through 99 Designs. There are lots of different ways you can go about getting cover art. The only thing I will quickly say about that is that you get what you pay for. So if you go onto a website where you can find cover art for $150, you're going to get something that's worth $150 that probably didn't take somebody very long to create at all. The thing I really liked about what Kerry did was she understood that I was trying to create a brand, that I was trying to create a look across 6 books, and that she was happy to include my ideas on the spine and things like that so that I could create a cohesive look across 6 books. For book number 2 in the Phoenix series, I had originally planned to have this done by May, but life got in the way and work big time got in the way, and that's just life. I'm now, end of July, and I'm about to get in contact with Kerry to do the cover for the second book, which is why I'm starting to make a series of videos, which I will link together and create one. So I'm actually going through the process of thinking about what I want to do for cover number 2. So then cover number 2, as we talk about, we want a different animal coming out of this inky color. So then you have to think about things like, do I want to keep the green color or do I actually want to change the color? There is a big part of me that wants to do a different color for each book, but then you've also got to think about things like, once they're all on the shelf together, will the different colors look like a cohesive series, or will they look weird being a different color? Would it be better to stick to the green? I still really like the idea of changing colors, but I'm also concerned that you lose something if you end up with a bunch of Technicolor books. But in the same breath, I kind of also really like the idea of it being like a rainbow that sits across your shelf. So I'm obviously going to change the season on the second book. So it is going to be for the gale season. So it's a really windy season. You can get the occasional blizzard, but basically it's just like really strong winds that batter the island. So where I am at the moment is just considering really mostly the color change. So I'm actually going to get in contact with Kerry in the next couple of days, get the ball rolling on number 2, and I will update you along the way. So we're now a week into August, and I didn't get round to doing the cover design when I said I was going to, because life and work got in the way, and I woke up a little bit early this morning, so I figured while I'm waiting for my hair to dry and before I have my breakfast and then head off to work, I will actually email Kerry and get this cover going. So for some reason at the moment when I'm trying to submit the design brief on 99 Designs to Kerry, I'm just getting an error message. So I'm just gonna go and have breakfast and then I'll resubmit it and go to work. Okay, so super quick update because it is starting to rain, which is why the cockatoos are going crazy. It is now the 11th of August. The reason I couldn't send my request through on 99 Designs is because my designer is on holiday. So until she gets back, there's no progress on the cover front, which is totally fine. I would rather continue working with the person who I was working with, who understands the overall arc of where I'm trying to go with the covers, rather than start with someone new just because I'm impatient and can't wait 2 weeks. But yeah, so no progress on that front. Thank you so much for staying with me so far and for watching this video about the cover design process for book number 2 of the Phoenix series. The other videos in the series will have their links below in the description box. Don't forget to check them out, and please let me know in the comments below what you think, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.